All right, good evening. I'm doing another video, and I got something in my mind I really want to clarify, and I'm not gonna do it in great detail, but I'll touch on it. This should be a medium length video. Just give me 1 second. All right, so what I wanted to talk about was people might ask me, well, how have you advanced? What does that mean that you've advanced? I'll tell you. So first of all, when I talk about leading this ghost kind of life. What are you talking about? What are you doing? What are you talking about? What I mean is that it's like leaving no trail wherever you go, or leaving very little trail wherever you go. Despite being somebody who seems like, hey man, everybody should have been on this, but it's weird. It's like this person left no trail. That's me going from a shadow world to a presence. Now, people would say, well, this guy is so stupid. He never grows. He never does anything or whatnot. Nobody even talks about him. He's not even a word of mouth or whatever the case is, right? That's an attest to how good somebody is in the shadow world. Now, having a presence, something really bothers me. Sometimes like people, they try to like make it, and I understand it's a defensive point. Like, you don't like men or man who kind of is self-motivated, self-made and whatnot. Typically, the world doesn't accept people like me. I'll tell you that right now. It accepts people that are connected, that are brought up, that are taught, that are raised, that are apprenticed, or whatever the case is. That's the kind of people that the world actually accepts. They don't accept people like me. They try to make our lives as hard as possible and try to keep us from entering into any world, try to keep us from getting any tickets. And what they want is for us to run around in our own little jungle, away from everybody. And they don't care how we eat or what we do, as long as we do it away from everybody else. Going back to my original point, okay, how did I advance? Now, everything that I did as a shadow, I did such a good job that I didn't realize it. Now that I have a presence, I'm automatically doing things. You know what I mean? And let me explain that a bit. Sometimes animals are not considered to be very insightful. Like they know everything that's going on, or they know everything in detail. They're not considered to be insightful, but when it comes to being themselves, which is an animal, they are the best at it. I'll give you an example. An eagle or a hawk. It is the perfect hunter. Beautiful wings, big scale, flies fast, beautifully, can even go into the water and eat fish, that are kind of higher up. And it can grab rabbits, entire rabbits, and fly off with them and stuff. That's some sorry, I kind of zoned out there. Okay, so that is an attest to how well that animal is at doing what it is supposed to do. So that's my whole thing. I've kind of abandoned, let me be jack of all trades, master of all trades, blah, blah. No. Let me just be myself. I mean, sometimes I catch myself and I go, hey man, it's the smallest fuck up in the world. And I go, dude, I shouldn't have fucked up like that. But that's kind of part of the learning process. Anyways, my point is that in just 3 months of having a presence, and it was very obvious from the moment I started having a presence. The way people walk around you, they look at you, they talk, and they're kind of like, it's like a different guy, like what's going on, right? And what I hate is when people try to go, in order to keep you relevant or whatever, as an example, or if you're too good, he's got somebody teaching him everything that somebody telling him. It's like, no, that's not it at all. Dude, I realized I'm the perfect animal. I did that perfectly, what I did. And now that I have a presence, I'm just being the perfect animal. That's it. I've never been less capable or anything. If anything, I've been over capable. But the point is that I am doing my job perfectly, which is being me. And then let me go into detail. So in the 3 months, what have I done? First of all, nobody's gonna tell you what they do. Listen to me. Don't relate me to your average person. Don't even relate me to the bottom. Okay, put me with the top 10. The top 10%, they're not gonna tell you everything that they did, but they will tell you. And I'll tell you, there's one thing that they will tell you. Not all the time. Some of them Some of them, if you're lucky, they will tell you that whatever they did a lot of work, man. And within a short span of time. Like every week, they were just putting in so much work, man. And I'm not talking about standing at your store, I don't know, whatever, at your supermarket, or standing at your store, standing there just greeting people for 12 hours, for example. Oh, I put in a lot of work. It's like how much the quality of work and how much goes into the work. You know what I mean? That's a big thing. Like what you actually like, that quality that you're putting in your time. Like like what somebody does in 30 days, if you can do it in an hour, imagine what an edge you'd have on people. There would be no surprise that within 3 months of having a presence, that you were already in the top 10% of the world. And it's not surprising to me. When I was a kid, I lost confidence as I got older. But when I was a kid, I was always highly confident. I remember just sitting there, looking out the window, looking at the world and thinking, man, I don't think there's anything out there that I can't do. I don't think there's anything out in this world that I can't do. And I was constantly being told, your head's too big, you're thinking way too big. You are smart and you will be successful, but try something like getting your master's in business, working a business job, getting a good salary, making 100 to 200K, driving a decent BMW or Mercedes, having a wife, having a good looking wife, blah, 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 having a house and kids and stuff. That's what I was told. And I was told to not think as big as I did. I used to think crazy big. Boy, I used to think crazy big. I mean, insane. Whatever like I had planned out. And I'm talking about before reaching an adult age, I had big, like crazy big plans. Anything I wanted to do, if I wanted to do a sport, I wanted to be the best in the country or something. You know what I mean? Like I had crazy big. I tried to level down. You know what I mean? But that's because I didn't know what I was doing. Even an eagle teaches his baby to a certain extent until the baby flies off. You know what I mean? For someone to just have somebody that just feeds them, or just make sure that they don't die, or just make sure that their blanket is clean and their bed is clean and that they're sleeping every night on a decent bed, or like, for example, right? Like having somebody like that. Losing somebody like that also is a big deal. When you lose, and that something like that, I don't know, maybe it happened within those 3 months. But when you lose somebody who's played that specific role, no matter who they are, but if they've played that role, they've actually put a hand in it, they're not there, they're not there. Now who do I have now? Who do I have in my life? Well, that's not even relevant. The point is that however well I did in those shadows and the quality I'm putting in is way higher. My caliber is just way higher. And I'll be honest, I do think that naturally I do have the capability and the abilities to go pretty much sky high, And you know what? After finding out my family origins, my real family origins, my Romanian dynasty and heritage, I'm like, dude, it's not a big deal at all. I used to think making $100,000 a year was the shit. I would have done it by any means. And now I think about it and I go, I didn't think that, by the way. I like I said, I wanted to do gym class. I wanted to do something physical. I didn't like, anyways, that's not important. The point is, I've talked about that already. The point is that knowing that and knowing where I'm coming from and what I'm like, it's not all that big. There's people that I've connected to in my life, and for them, dude, they're like elite. You know what I mean? For them, doing top shit is not that big of a deal. That's why I told you. For me now, success is just a norm. Success should be a norm. I'm not surprised and happy. Yes, I won. No, I don't care, dude. That's a little fucking thing, man. That's not a big thing for me. Knowing what I really am, my expectations are supposed to be so high, anyways, that I probably, whatever I do, it's just gonna be like, well, you did a decent job. There's nothing I can do on this planet that will be considered to be, oh, you did a phenomenal, there's nothing I can do on this. But anything I do, I will get praise for it and people will give me respect for it. But they'll just be like, yeah, but for you, it's not all that crazy, whatever you did. Yeah, and now I don't need to say more. And I want you to know that I don't have to say any more and that you got everything that I was saying.